Far-fetched. It's a strange combination of words, isn't it? It's an adjective. It means something that's very unlikely to be true and difficult to believe. He told us a far-fetched story about being abducted by aliens. I didn't enjoy the film. I thought the plot was too far-fetched. Someone could give a far-fetched excuse of why they're late or why they haven't done something. Adept. What are you adept at? Adept is to have a natural ability to do something that needs skill. She's very adept at dealing with the media. Florence gave a technically adept performance on the piano. And like me, I always hit the wrong notes. Gullible. You find a lot of people who are gullible. It means to be easily deceived or tricked and too willing to believe everything that other people say. There are any number of miracle cures on the market for people gullible enough to buy them. Poor Sandra. She's so gullible. She was taken in by all his lies. People who believe conspiracy theories are gullible. Penny pinching. Not very nice. Means unwilling to spend money. I became tired of his penny pinching ways. I don't think Fred will come with us. His penny pinching attitude will put him off from paying for an expensive meal. Penny pinching doesn't apply to people who don't have any money or much money. It's to those who do have a lot of money but won't spend it. Tenacious. Tenacious means holding tightly onto something or keeping an opinion in a determined way. The baby took my finger in its tenacious little fist. There has been tenacious local opposition to the new airport. The noun of this is tenacity, to have tenacity. Antediluvian. This one always amuses me because it was the first big word I learnt at school. Extremely old-fashioned. Literal meaning is of or relating to the period before the flood as described in the Bible. My mother has some hopelessly antediluvian ideas about the role of women. That antediluvian relic is known as a slide rule. I bet many of you don't even know what a slide rule is. Fruitful. This one I think is pretty obvious. It means producing good results, abundant in achievements or outcomes. Their collaboration was fruitful, leading to groundbreaking discoveries. After years of hard work, the farmer's fields finally yielded a fruitful harvest. I hope your English studies are proving fruitful. Egregious. This is a good one. It means to behave in an extremely bad way that is very noticeable. It was an egregious error for a statesman to show such ignorance. The student's dissertation was marred by a number of egregious errors in spelling. You'll often find the words in newspapers. Sheepish. It's be sheepish means to be embarrassed because you know that you've done something wrong or silly. She gave me a sheepish smile and apologised. When I asked her who'd made the mess in the staff kitchen, her sheepish manner gave her away. Children can often be sheepish when they know they've done something wrong. Nefarious. Morally bad, especially used about activities. The minister seems to have been involved in some nefarious practices or activities. Batman and Superman are always fighting evildoers and stopping their nefarious plots. This is another one which you'll often come across in newspaper articles. It's not so often used in casual chat, but you will hear it used in TV interviews. Mouthy. Now in contrast, this is very informal. It means talking and expressing your opinions a lot, especially in a rude way. She told her teenage daughter that unless she stopped being rude and mouthy, she'd take her phone away. I can't stand that woman. She's so mouthy. Never a nice word to say about anyone. No, it's not nice to be called mouthy. It's very derogatory. Paranoid. To be paranoid is to feel extremely nervous and worried because you believe that other people do not like you or are trying to harm you. He started feeling paranoid and was convinced his boss was going to fire him. She says someone is stalking her. She's getting paranoid about it. I hope you're not paranoid about anything. Wistful. We all get wistful at times. It means sad and thinking about something that is impossible or in the past. When he met up with her years later, he mentioned their time in France, and she gave him a wistful smile. I heard my mum's favourite song on the radio and grew wistful. What are you wistful about? Mesmerizing. Captivating or entrancing, holding one's attention. The mesmerizing dance performance left the audience in awe. The sunset over the ocean was truly mesmerizing with its vibrant colours. Mesmerizing came up in a workshop we did recently, where one of the participants said she found the film Titanic mesmerizing. In the same workshop, this word came up because I asked for an alternative to mesmerizing, and we arrived at spellbinding, having the power to hold one's attention completely as if under a spell. The magician's spellbinding tricks left the children amazed. Her storytelling was so spellbinding that everyone in the room was utterly engrossed. If a witch casts a spell on you, you'll be spellbound. lugubrious, mournful, or excessively sad in a dramatic or exaggerated way. The lugubrious music playing in the background set a somber tone for the film. His lugubrious expression after the loss of his dog was heartbreaking. Even the sound of the word sounds sad and mournful. Lugubrious. Serene, calm, peaceful, and untroubled. The serene beauty of the mountain lake was breathtaking. She found a serene place in the garden to meditate and relax. Women are often called serene. I'm not sure why the adjective isn't used for men, but women certainly are called serene. Searing, extremely hot or burning, or having a powerful and lasting impact. The searing heat of the desert made it almost unbearable. His searing critique of the government's policies sparked a heated debate. Searing. Glaring, extremely bright, harsh, or conspicuous, glaringly obvious. The glaring sun forced them to squint their eyes. The error in the report was glaring and could not be ignored. To glare at someone is to stare intensely. Supercilious, behaving or looking as if one is superior to others, haughty or arrogant. His supercilious attitude made it difficult for others to approach him. She gave a supercilious smile when asked about her achievements. I really don't like supercilious people. Do you know anyone who's supercilious? Crestfallen, sad and disappointed, typically after a failure or defeat. After losing the game, the team was crestfallen and dejected. He looked crestfallen when he didn't get the job he had hoped for. A crest is a high point, the crest of a wave, the crest of a mountain. So if you fall from that crest, then you're going to go downhill and be upset. Surreptitious, secretive, sneaky, or done in a way that avoids attention or detection. She made a surreptitious exit from the party to avoid meeting her ex. The spy operated with a surreptitious approach to gather classified information. Yes, well, of course, spies would do that. Jaundiced, cynical, prejudiced, or having a negative outlook due to past experiences. His jaundiced view of politicians made him distrustful of all government officials. She had a jaundiced perspective on love after a series of failed relationships. If you have jaundice, of course, then your skin turns yellow. It is an unfortunate disease. Prescient, having knowledge of events or situations before they occur, having foresight. Her prescient advice about investing in technology stocks turned out to be very profitable. The author's prescient novel accurately predicted many social and political developments. Don't we all wish we could be more prescient about things and have foresight? Browbeaten, intimidated or bullied into submission or compliance. He had been browbeaten by his boss into working overtime without compensation. The employees felt browbeaten and demoralized by the constant pressure from the management. As a cliche which always talks about husband being browbeaten by their wives who always nag them. Dashing, attractive and stylish in a confident, adventurous or gallant way. He made a dashing entrance at the party in his tailored suit and charismatic smile. The dashing hero of the movie saved the day with his courage and charm. It's usually used about men. Unfortunately, I don't think I have ever been described as being dashing. Articulate, expressing thoughts, ideas or feelings clearly and effectively, well spoken. She is known for being an articulate speaker who can convey complex ideas with ease. His articulate presentation at the conference impressed the audience and earned him accolades. The verb is to articulate. You want to articulate well in English and be articulate. Bedridden, confined to bed due to illness, injury or disability. After the accident, he was bedridden for weeks, unable to move without assistance. The elderly woman had been bedridden for years, requiring constant care from her family. Strange this one, isn't it? Bedridden. To ride on a bed. But while it sounds funny, the meaning of it isn't. Sheltered, protected from the difficulties and dangers of the outside world, lacking exposures to the harsh realities of life. Growing up in a sheltered environment, she was unprepared for the challenges of adulthood. The sheltered child had never experienced adversity until leaving home for college. We often talk about children being too sheltered. Decrepit, worn out, ruined due to old age, neglect or overuse. The decrepit old house had been abandoned for years and was in a state of disrepair. The decrepit beggar struggled to walk with his frail and feeble legs. Decrepit. Corresponding, matching, related, or similar in a way that corresponds or relates to something else. I think that the corresponding scales played on the guitar are more difficult than on the piano. Yes, they are. The data showed a corresponding increase in sales whenever the advertising campaign ran. Note that corresponding in this case doesn't have anything to do with corresponding, meaning writing. Dogged, persistent, determined and unwavering in pursuing a goal or adjective. Despite numerous setbacks, her dogged determination eventually led her to success. The dogged detective refused to give up on solving the difficult case. Note the pronunciation dogged. You can be dogged by difficulties. That is different. Disjointed, lacking coherence or connection, characterized by a lack of continuity or order. His speech became disjointed after he had the stroke. The disjointed essay failed to convey a clear argument due to its lack of structure. As English learners, your speech will be disjointed at first until you become more articulate. It will happen. Heartfelt, sincere and deeply felt, coming from the heart. She wrote a heartfelt letter of gratitude to her mentor for their support. The heartfelt condolences from friends and family brought comfort during the difficult time. Heartfelt, sincere and deeply felt. You mean it from the bottom of your heart. Expeditious, done with speed and efficiency, without unnecessary delay. The expeditious response of the emergency services saved lives in the accident. The expeditious completion of the project allowed them to meet the deadline. It's good to act expeditiously. Of course, that's the adverb. Empirical, based on observation, experience or evidence, rather than theory or pure logic. The scientist conducted empirical research to test his hypothesis. Her decision was driven by empirical data, showing a clear pattern of success. So it's based on observation and experience and evidence rather than theory. Hackneyed, overused to the point of becoming trite or cliched, lacking originality. The hackneyed phrases in his speech failed to inspire the audience. The movie's hackneyed plot was predictable and lacked creativity. I enjoy creative writing, and I'm always editing and re-editing to ensure that I haven't been hackneyed in what I've written. Forlorn, desolate, abandoned, or appearing sad and lonely. The forlorn house at the end of the street looked haunted and neglected. Her forlorn expression suggested she'd been waiting a long time. Forlornly is the adverb. She looked forlornly at her ex-boyfriend, wishing they were still together. Impulsive. Acting on sudden desires or urges without careful thought. Spontaneous. His impulsive decision to quit his job without a backup plan left him in a difficult situation. She bought the expensive dress on an impulsive shopping spree. Are you ever impulsive? About what? About what you buy? About where you go? It can be good sometimes. Laudatory. Expressing praise, admiration, or approval. The laudatory reviews of the restaurant's cuisine drew in a lot of customers. Her laudatory remarks about her colleagues' work were well deserved. Of course, you probably know the synonym of this, which is praiseworthy. His efforts were laudatory. His efforts were praiseworthy. Laudatory comes from Latin, as many English words do. Insightful. If you're insightful, you have a deep and clear understanding of a situation or problem. You're perceptive. Her insightful analysis of the market trends helped the company make strategic decisions. The book provided insightful commentary on the complexities of human nature. In many contexts, astute is quite a good synonym for insightful. He makes astute decisions. Nitpicking. Excessively concerned with minor details, often to an annoying or petty extent. His nitpicking behaviour during project meetings frustrated his colleagues. She was accused of nitpicking when she pointed out small errors in the report. Not a very pleasant origin, this one. A nit is the little bug, the lice, which you can get in your hair or on your bodies, and you have to pick them off. Ugh. Nitpicking. Mind-numbing. I think this one's pretty obvious. Extremely boring or tedious to the point of dulling one's mental faculties. The mind-numbing task of data entry left her feeling exhausted and unstimulated. Sitting through the mind-numbing lecture felt like an eternity. Yes, my mind's been numbed many times in lectures such as that. Mind-numbing. Shady. untrustworthy, suspicious, or of questionable character, lacking in transparency. The shady character in the alley made her feel unsafe. The business's shady practices led to a scandal and legal investigations. Of course, the literal meaning of shady is to be out of the sun. Under the tree was very shady. Precipitous, extremely steep or sheer, often referring to cliffs or slopes. Another meaning is sudden and hasty. Climbing the precipitous mountain required experienced mountaineers. The company's precipitous decision to lay off employees came as a shock. It's often an hasty and a wrong decision made with too much haste if it's precipitous. Pithy, concise and full of meaning, expressing a lot in a few words. Her pithy remarks during the meeting captured the essence of the issue. The pithy headlines summarize the key points of the news article. Often good articulate speakers can be very pithy. They can say and mean a lot with just a few short words. Rectifiable, capable of being corrected or remedied. Fixable, the errors in the report were rectifiable with some revisions and edits. Despite the setbacks, the project's problems were rectifiable with the right approach. Thank goodness for computers. It means my typing errors are rectifiable. Unlike when I was writing things out by hand. Servile, excessively submissive, obedient or subservient to others. His servile behaviour towards his boss made him seem unassertive and lacking in confidence. The ruler demanded servile loyalty from his subjects, expecting unquestioning obedience. It's not good to be servile or forced to be servile. Makes you think of peasants of old and their lords and masters. Prodigious, remarkably or impressively great in extent, size or degree, extraordinary. His prodigious talent as a musician made him a sensation in the music industry. The company achieved a prodigious increase in profits over last year. Students who wish to succeed in English put a prodigious amount of effort into their studying. Shambolic, chaotic, disorganized, and in a state of complete confusion or disorder. Everyone was drunk and the party turned into a shambolic mess with people tripping over each other. The project's management was so shambolic that it missed every deadline. My room is rather shambolic. It's a shambles. It's full of computer equipment, books, guitars, pianos, and video equipment. It's a shambles. Shambolic. 100 advanced phrasal verbs in 30 minutes. Remember that the same phrasal verb can have different meanings. I'll be showing you just one. To ask around. To inquire or seek information by asking various people. He asked around to find who could lend him a bicycle. If you're lost, ask around for directions. Back out. To withdraw or retract from a commitment or agreement. She had to back out of the event due to a scheduling conflict. Don't back out at the last minute. We're counting on your help. Call off. To cancel an event, activity or arrangement. Due to bad weather, they had to call off the outdoor concert. The wedding was called off at the last minute. Die down. To gradually become less intense, often referring to noise or excitement. The storm finally died down and it stopped raining. The cheering from the crowd slowly died down after the game. End up. Arrive at or reach a particular place or situation. Despite their disagreements, they ended up becoming close friends. If you keep working hard, you will end up achieving your goals. Face off. To confront someone in a challenge or competition. The two teams will face off in the championship game. He faced off against his rival in a heated debate. Give up. Surrender or quit something, often due to difficulties or challenges. She didn't give up even when faced with numerous obstacles. Don't give up on your dreams. Keep working towards them. Hold out. To continue to resist or endure despite pressure or difficulties. The soldiers held out against the enemy's attack for weeks. She held out against any temptation and stuck to her diet. Jump in. Enter or participate in something quickly and enthusiastically. He saw an opportunity and jumped in without hesitation. Don't be afraid to jump in and share your ideas during the meeting. Keep on. Continue doing something, often persistently. Even in the face of setbacks, she kept on pursuing her passion. Keep on studying and you will improve your skills. Lend itself to. Be suitable or appropriate for a particular purpose. The spacious backyard lends itself to outdoor gatherings. The topic of the book club's discussion lent itself to meaningful conversations. Make up. Create or invent something such as a story or an excuse. He liked to make up bedtime stories for his children. She had to make up an excuse for missing the meeting. Optimize for. Modify or adapt something to achieve the best possible results. The software was optimized for faster performance. Businesses often optimize their websites for search engines. Pass out. Lose consciousness or faint temporarily. He passed out from exhaustion after running a marathon. The heat was so intense that some people passed out during the outdoor event. Run out on. To abandon or desert someone, often in a time of need. He ran out on his family when they needed him the most. She felt betrayed when her friend ran out on her during a crisis. Settle up. Pay a debt or resolve a financial matter. Before leaving, make sure to settle up your restaurant bill. We need to settle up the outstanding invoices with our suppliers. Take over. Assume control or responsibility for something. The new CEO will take over the company's operations next week. She took over as the leader of the research project. Venture out. Leave a familiar place and explore or try something new. They decided to venture out into the wilderness for a camping trip. It's important to venture out of your comfort zone to grow as a person. Wipe off. Clean or remove something from a surface. Please wipe off the spilled coffee from the table. Use a damp cloth to wipe off the dust from the shelves. Back up. Support or provide assistance to someone or something. Can you back up Jim in the presentation tomorrow? Make sure to back up your important files regularly. Call off, cancel an event, activity or arrangement. Due to bad weather, they had to call off the outdoor concert. The wedding was called off at the last minute. Die down. Gradually become less intense, often referring to noise or excitement. The storm finally died down and it stopped raining. The cheering from the crowd slowly died down after the game. End up. Arrive at or reach a particular place or situation. Despite their disagreements, they ended up becoming close friends. If you keep working hard, you'll end up achieving your goals. Face off. Confront someone in a challenge or competition. The two teams will face off in the championship game. He faced off against his rival in a heated debate. Give up. Surrender or quit something, often due to difficulties or challenges. She didn't give up even when faced with numerous obstacles. Don't give up on your dreams. Keep working towards them. Hold out. Continue to resist or endure despite pressure or difficulties. The soldiers held out against the enemy's attacks for weeks. She held out against temptation and stuck to her diet. Jump in. Enter or participate in something quickly and enthusiastically. He saw an opportunity and jumped in without hesitation. Don't be afraid to jump in and share your ideas during the meeting. Account for. Explain or justify something. The accountant needs to account for the missing funds. Can you account for your absence yesterday? Adapt to. Adjust or change to fit a new situation or environment. It can be challenging to adapt to a new culture when you move to a foreign country. He's finding it hard to adapt to the pressure in his new job. Back down. Withdraw from a position or contest. After a lengthy debate, he had to back down from his stance on the issue. His dad finally backed down and agreed to let him use the car. Break through. Make a successful effort to overcome a barrier or obstacle. The research team managed to break through finding a vaccine. She finally broke through her fear of speaking in public. Bring about, cause something to happen. Her leadership brought about positive changes in the organisation. His spell in prison brought about a marked change in his behaviour. Brush up on, improve or refresh one's knowledge or skills in a particular subject. I need to brush up on my Spanish before our trip to Mexico. It's a good idea to brush up on your phrasal verbs before the exam. Call for, require or demand something. The situation calls for immediate action. The unions are calling for a pay increase or they will take strike action. Catch on, understand or become popular. It took a while for the new technology to catch on, but now it's everywhere. I always find it hard to catch on to what she means. Check in, register at a hotel or arrive at a location and announce your presence. We'll check in at the hotel and then head out for dinner. I'll check in with you on the phone to let you know I've arrived safely. Come across, discover or find something or someone unexpectedly. I came across an interesting article while researching my project. Guess what? I came across Sally in town. Haven't seen her for years. Count on, rely or depend on something or someone. I can always count on Robert for support. I wouldn't count on Jack backing you up with your proposal. Cut back on, reduce the amount of something such as expenses or consumption. We need to cut back on our spending to save for our holiday. At this rate, you'll burn yourself out. You need to cut back on the hours you're working. Deal with, handle or address a situation or problem. She knows how to deal with difficult customers effectively. She is in over her head. She can't deal with the pressure of the job. Do away with, eliminate or get rid of something. The company decided to do away with old policies. It's about time you did away with trying to change him. He's too set in his ways. Draw up, create or prepare a document or plan. The lawyer will draw up the contract for the business deal. Come and sit down and we can draw up some ideas for the event. Drop by, visit someone or somewhere informally. Feel free to drop by my office if you have any questions. I dropped by to see how my sister is on my way home from work. Endorse for, support or approve of someone for something officially. The head of department endorses application for the promotion. Achieving C2 level English endorses you for developing your career when fluent English is required. Fall apart, break into pieces or fail completely. The old car finally fell apart on the highway. Their marriage fell apart when he discovered she'd been cheating on him with her ex. Fill in for, substitute for someone temporarily. Can you fill in for me at the meeting tomorrow? The boss is on holiday for the next few weeks, so Jim is filling in for him. Get across. Successfully communicate an idea or message. It's important to find a way to get your point across during the presentation. She always gets her views across so fluently, even though she's not a native speaker. Go about, begin or undertake a task or activity. Let me show you how to go about solving this problem. He often goes about helping his elderly neighbours by doing their shopping for him. Hand out. Distribute something to a group of people. The teacher handed out the worksheets for the assignment. It's wonderful that the charity is handing out free food parcels to those in need. Hold off. Delay or postpone something. They decided to hold off the project until they had more information. Please hold off interrupting me until I finish this report. Jot down. Quickly write something, usually short notes. I'll just jot down the key points of the conversation. I've got a memory like a sieve. I have to jot down notes to remind myself what I'm supposed to do. Keep up with. Stay informed or updated about something. It's challenging to keep up with the latest developments in technology. She spends an arm and a leg on clothes, trying to keep up with the latest fashion. Lay off. Temporarily or permanently dismiss employees from their jobs. The company had to lay off several employees due to financial difficulties. We can't afford to go on holiday now. I've been laid off. Live up to. Fulfill or meet expectations or standards. She always strives to live up to her parents' high expectations. I can't really say I enjoyed the film. I don't think it lived up to the positive reviews. Look after. Take care of or be responsible for someone or something. She looks after her younger brother while her parents are at work. Can you do me a favour, please? Water my plants while I'm on holiday, otherwise they'll all die if we have no rain. Make do with. Manage or get by with what is available. We'll have to make do with the limited resources we have. For heaven's sake, you don't need to buy a new dress for the wedding. We can't afford it. Make do with what you have. Narrow down. Reduce the number of options or possibilities. We need to narrow down our choices before making a decision. I've narrowed down the people who may have been responsible to 3. The question is, which one of them? Opt out of. Choose not to participate in something. He decided to opt out of the optional team building activity. I don't fancy going on that tour of the castle. I'm opting out of it. Pay off. Produce a positive result or have a successful outcome. All their hard work finally paid off when they won the championship. Learning phrasal verbs can drive you round the bend, but knowing them will pay off when you do the exam. Phase out. Gradually eliminate or replace something. The government plans to phase out old polluting vehicles. I'm going to phase out my visits to the pub. They're costing me a fortune. Pick up on. Notice or detect something, often subtle. She was quick to pick up on changes in his mood. He picked up on the fact that she had been silent throughout the meeting and asked her what was wrong. Play down. Minimize the importance or significance of something. The company tried to play down the negative impact of the recall. He's a great singer but shy and modest. He always plays down his talent. Put off, postpone or delay something. They had to put off the meeting until next week. Don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today. That's a proverb. Rack up, accumulate or collect something, often points or scores. He managed to rack up a high score in the video game. He's racked up a load of injuries doing adventure sports. Run into. Encounter someone or something unexpectedly. I ran into an old friend at the grocery store. I wasn't keeping my eye on the road and ran into the back of her car. Fortunately, she wasn't hurt and the car wasn't badly damaged. See through. Continue with the plan or course of action until it is completed. She was determined to see through her goal of running a marathon. Come on, don't give up. You're halfway through the course. Surely you're going to see it through until you've finished. Show up. Arrive or appear at a place. Make sure to show up on time for the interview. What's the betting he won't show up? You know he hates parties. Sort out. Resolve or organise a problem or situation. We need to sort out the issues in our project before moving forward. Someone needs to sort him out. His lack of cooperation is really impeding our progress. Take up. Begin or start a hobby, activity or cause. She decided to take up painting as a creative outlet. He's taken up volunteering at the local hospice to chat to the elderly folk and give them some company. Team up with. Collaborate or work together with someone or a group. The two companies decided to team up with each other for the project. I'm fed up. The boss made me team up with James again. Trying to get James to cooperate is like talking to a brick wall. Think over. Consider or ponder something carefully. I need some time to think over your proposal. Once he's had time to think it over, he'll realise that it's in his own interests. Track down. Locate or find someone or something often after a search. The detective managed to track down the missing person. My twin brother and I were separated as kids. It took me years to track him down. When I finally met up with him, it was like looking in the mirror. He's my spitting image. Turn out. Have a particular result or end in a certain way. The event turned out to be a great success. Everyone said how successful he'd become building up his company, but it didn't turn out well for him. He ended up going bankrupt. Use up. Consume or deplete a resource or supply completely. We've used up all the paper in the printer. You've used up all the data on my phone. I'll have to top it up now. Vouch for. Confirm or guarantee the reliability or authenticity of something. I can vouch for the quality of their products. If you're looking for a reliable plumber, use Jack White. I can vouch for him. He's reliable. Wear off. Gradually disappear or diminish in effect. The pain from the injury will wear off in a few hours. His enthusiasm for learning to play the guitar soon wore off. He said it hurt his fingers. Work out, exercise or engage in physical activity. I try to work out at the gym 3 times a week. Look at you! You're such a couch potato. It's about time you started working out to get rid of some weight. Ask around. Enquire or seek information by asking various people. I'll ask around to see if anyone knows where the lost keys are. I haven't seen him for weeks. Ask around at the pub. One of his mates is sure to know where he is. Back up. Make a copy of data or provide support or assistance. Remember to back up your important files regularly. Frank backed me up when I said that I couldn't come in for the Saturday shift as I was ill. It wasn't true. I went to the football match. I owe Frank one. Break up. End a relationship, partnership or group. They decided to break up after years of being together. The police broke up the angry protesters and dispersed them. Call off. Cancel an event, activity or arrangement. Due to bad weather being forecast, they had to call off the outdoor concert. Shame really, it turned out to be a sunny day. Alice drives me up the wall. She can't come with me tonight. She's always calling things off at the last minute. Carry out, complete or fulfill a task or action. The team carried out the project as planned. He didn't carry out his duties as best man very well. He was late, kept everyone waiting and then gave a drunken speech at the reception, telling embarrassing anecdotes about the groom. Come up with, invent or suggest an idea or solution. We need to come up with a new marketing strategy. If you can't come up with a better idea than that, I think you'd be better off leaving to find another job. Cope with, deal effectively with a difficult situation or challenge. She has learnt to cope with stress through meditation. She's always whining about something or other. I find it difficult to cope with her. Cut down on, reduce the amount of something, especially consumption. I'm trying to cut down on sugary snacks for better health. You need to cut down on the time you watch television. You'll get square eyes. Do without, manage or survive without something that is usually considered necessary. During the camping trip, we had to do without electricity. She can't cope without her phone. She's constantly looking at it, even when we're out eating. Drop off, deliver or leave someone or something at a specific location. I'll drop off the package at your office on my way home. When my car broke down, William offered to drop me at home. I turned down his offer. He drives like a maniac. I wanted to get home in one piece. Fall out with, have a disagreement or conflict with someone leading to a strained relationship. She fell out with her best friend over a misunderstanding. Sorry, I've no idea where she is. We've fallen out. You might try her mother's. That's where she'll get sympathy. Figure out, solve or understand a problem or situation. It took me a while to figure out how to assemble the furniture. I can't figure out why she's so off-handed with me. She's pleasant with everyone else. Get along with. Have a harmonious or friendly relationship with someone. He gets along well with his co-workers. I find it very hard to get along with her. She seems to have a chip on her shoulder. Give in, surrender or yield to pressure or a request. She didn't want to, but she eventually gave in to their demands. The kids are spoilt and badly behaved. I think it's because they always give in to whatever they want. Hand in, submit or give something to a person in authority. Please hand in your completed assignments by Friday. I think you should hand in that ring you found to the police. It may have sentimental value to someone. Hold on, wait or pause for a short period. Please hold on while I transfer your call to the right department. Hold on a minute, can't you? You can see I'm on the phone. Keep at. Persist in doing something despite difficulties or obstacles. If you want to improve, you need to keep at it. Don't give up so easily. Rome wasn't built in a day. Keep at it until you've finished. Then you'll feel a sense of achievement. Lay out, arrange or display something in a particular way. He laid out the documents neatly on the table. His email laid out a very convincing argument for why we are in this situation and what we should do to remedy it. Make out, discern or understand something, often with difficulty. It was hard to make out the writing on the wall. She seemed to be in a bit of a state, but the phone signal was so weak I couldn't make out a lot of what she was saying. Open up. Begin to talk more freely or reveal personal feelings. He started to open up about his childhood during the therapy session. Sarah came round crying yesterday. She opened up to me about the problems in her marriage. Seems she found him dressed in her underwear. Pick out, choose or select something from a group. She managed to pick out the perfect gift for her friend. She picked him out as her future husband long before he knew it. Of course, the fact that he was loaded had nothing to do with it. Play with. Experiment or tinker with something to learn or improve. He enjoys playing with electronics to understand how they work. He loves playing with things and taking them apart to see how they work. Trouble is, when he tries to put them together again, he can't remember how. His watch is still in pieces. Cut in. Interrupt a conversation or activity briefly. He cut in and offered his opinion during the meeting. Every time I'm having a good chat with her, he comes across and cuts in. I think he's got a thing for her. Absorb information. He has the ability to absorb information quickly. Accelerate progress. The new strategy will accelerate progress towards our goals. Accommodate needs. We need to accommodate the specific needs of our clients. Accomplish a task. He promised to accomplish the task by the end of the week. Accrue benefits. By investing wisely, you can accrue significant benefits over time. Acquire knowledge. It's important to read widely to acquire knowledge in various fields. Adapt to circumstances. Successful leaders know how to adapt to changing circumstances. Adhere to principles. He always adheres to his principles, no matter the situation. Administer justice. It's the duty of the court to administer justice fairly. Advocate for change. She has been advocating for social change for many years. Were all those familiar to you? Or were some new? Some you don't understand? If you have any questions, don't forget to let me know. Let's look at them all again quickly. Absorb information. He has the ability to absorb information quickly. Accelerate progress. The new strategy will accelerate progress towards our goals. Accomplish a task. He promised to accomplish the task by the end of the week. Accommodate needs. we need to accommodate the specific needs of our clients. Accrue benefits. By investing wisely, you can accrue significant benefits over time. Acquire knowledge. It's important to read widely to acquire knowledge in various fields. Adapt to circumstances. Successful leaders know how to adapt to changing circumstances. Adhere to principles. He always adheres to his principles no matter the situation. Administer justice. It's the duty of the court to administer justice fairly. Advocate for change. She has been advocating for social change for many years.